Right Honourable Speaker, honourable members, first of all, I want to thank you for adjusting the order paper to allow us to make this statement regarding the incidents registered during the Kawempe North by-election campaigns. Right Honourable Speaker and members, a number of incidents. This paper has been uploaded because we didn't know it would be allowed on the order paper. It was uploaded late, but I think members should be having it now. A number of incidents have been registered in the course of the ongoing Kawempe North by-election related activities. And these involve, among others, skirmishes between NUP supporters and security forces, as a result of which 24 people are arrested and put in custody. And those arrested include 2 honorable members of this House, namely Honorable Nyeko and Hon Nkunyinji. The details of the particulars of those in custody are attached to this brief. The action taken so far: a case file was opened via Duandelia SDA Ref 63/33/2025. Statements recorded from all those in custody to enable the processing of their cases for court. Those arrested were presented in court and remanded on Tuesday, 4th March 2025. Right Honourable Speaker and members, government intends to ensure a clean, transparent, and safe by-election in Kawempe North constituency. Towards this end, the various players, including the EC, who organized this by-election, the contenders from the different parties and their supporters, the general public, as well as security, have to exercise their different roles, different but complementary roles within the confines of the law. Where we have infractions of the law, there are processes within the law on how to bring them to account, including guidelines on the lawful enforcement of the law. It is also the law, Right Honourable Speaker and members, that for one to be charged with a criminal offence, that offence and the punishment thereof must be expressly provided for in written law. Those arrested are accused of various breaches of the law, including the alleged illegal use of military gear by some of them. Charges known to the law will be preferred for the courts to determine their cases. In addition, working with the military and other security organs, it will be proposed to publish for information their gazetted uniforms, as well as other gear which are ordinarily the preserve of official uniformed forces. Also, working with the EC, guidance should be given to all the players regarding lawfully permissible conduct during this exercise. Last, rules of engagement and SOPs that guide the security forces in the conduct of public order management will be disseminated to the operating forces to enhance their awareness as they go about their duties. But also, unsaid is the background to this, and I think we need to ask the hard questions. We need to have a candid, brutal conversation on this idea of what is reasonable conduct, what is permissible conduct. I think we were all treated to that video that ran wild of people in military formations, and I knew it would attract consequences, both intended and unintended. So I think going forward, we may need to engage as security and all the players on how we go forward to ensure that we have credible electoral processes. Right Honourable Speaker and members, government commits to ensure a clean and safe electoral process in support of the EC. Those arrested will be presented in court, and any excesses reported, investigated and dealt with as appropriate. The journalist whose eye was injured, called Miracle in Nsambia Hospital, gladly he's been discharged, but I've been briefed by Honorable Bahati, and I want to thank him for visiting him. We shall meet the bills of his treatment. I
would have loved, for example, in the case of the journalist, who was not part of people who made the parade and all that. I would have been glad to see a commitment of investigating their officers coming out clearly. The way of investigating others has come out clearly. It would have been, it would give confidence to other people who might be caught up in that fracas when they are not involved.
I want to thank the Minister of Internal Affairs for responding to the directives of the Speaker. First of all, Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank you, government, for responding to the injured person by meeting his bill. Although you wouldn't have met it if you had not caused injury to him. And it's not enough, but there are more than one who are under the same state. Mr. Speaker, I want to inform General Moho's Minister of Internal Affairs State that yesterday, and as of now, there's a video running around. There's a Ugandan resembling one of the JAT, and people were almost going to kill him, thinking that the one was beating people in Kawempe. This is a common phenomenon in Africa. Sometimes some people say that I'm resembling also you yourself. And if you commit an offense, I might be the victim or you might be me. But for you are lucky, you have safety with your security guards. This is the situation, Mr. Speaker, we are facing. But when we are here, the Minister for Trade, who was acting as government, leader of government business, denied knowing anybody who was beating people. The processes of bringing people to book, summoning them, is within the hands of government, not the opposition. If there's any offense committed by a national unity platform, at any cost, it's you to bring them to book. But here we are having soldiers beating civilians with no sufficient cause. There's a candidate in this race. They are saying we are going to cause traffic jam. He's moving with a wheel loader, but for him it's safer than those walking on foot on the roads. How would we handle that? Mr. Speaker, sir, we should go, members of parliament, and I'm repeating this, because we are giving challenges to our speaker. And I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker. You stated it here, that you are going to handle that matter. Members of parliament are summoned by, you summon them through the speaker of parliament. If I'm wearing an overall, which is red in color, but it's having national colors, what offense have I committed? I'm driving going to the rally where there is a new candidate or an NRM candidate, and you arrest members. Honorable Minister of Internal Affairs, kindly. Even NRM, actually, parades are committed everywhere. You must communicate, and always directives come out, respect them. NRM is wearing its yellow overalls, it's also berets, also because you know what is sanctioned under the Youth Act, which was brought back to Parliament as a trained soldier and a lawyer. So, Mr. Speaker, I think we need to come out. Why do you beat the press, the fourth arm? They are fully dressed in their attire, showing that they are working for maybe Mr. Baramuzi, Honorable Mr. Baramuzi radio.
The law is clear. In such an operation, honestly, it's Electoral Commission to invite police, and if they are skeletal, maybe the army to support. But what is happening is like the minister slept on duty. Because if Electoral Commission had a meeting and he was not even in the meeting and he does not know anything, what hope can he give Ugandans? Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for giving room to debate this particular issue. This morning I was on talk show. Literally, NRM, if it will ever get any votes in Kawempe, I want to tell you, skeletal. The community is bleeding. Why have we decided to militarize something which is for civilians? What is your fear? Why have we decided to make election to appear as it's war? Do we want to take this country into anarchy? We have had enough. Innocent people are being beaten. Can you imagine? Media is the fourth estate. The fourth estate has lost an eye. We can happily sit here and say the treatment will be covered. Can you imagine? Really? Do you know what pain is in a person who has lost an eye? Right, Honorable Speaker, I beg you, the only hope remaining for our community, especially when it comes to Kawempe, is this house. Kindly put your feet.
I was a victim on Monday. What happened in Kawempe? The JAT people wanted to kick my private parts. It's only that I grew that I had the background of the ghetto in Bwaise. If I didn't have tactics, it would be another story as it is now. When you look at the clothes I used that day and you look at them, you can't believe that it's a member of parliament that was harassed the way it was. The ladies were in a court on Tuesday with Honorable Sambo Shabe. When you look at the way the ladies were beaten, others lost their backs. Yes, they did. Others, when you look at their faces, they were brutally brutalized. Why are we doing this? The kidnaps going on as we speak now, Right Honorable Speaker. An American citizen called Charles Bukenya Mugawara, the Vice President for UNA, was kidnapped on Tuesday night in Nakulabi. We don't know where he is. This country is experiencing many people leaving to go and seek asylum in other countries because of the way the security agencies are handling. We ask who is ordering, who is taking over, but we have seen tweets of the CDF saying, I'm going to crush these new people. We condemn that.
Honorable Speaker, since I watched the news that a prospective member of parliament can come from nomination and is pulled off a motorbike, thrown onto the ground. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have a history as a country. We cannot afford to see this happening in the NRM government, where we all rejoiced and thanked the president for liberating this country. Who are these officers? When I heard the police, the spokesperson for Honorable, I'm a former Felix Kulaije, speaking and saying they don't know these people. Now, how can people have guns, have sticks, beat up Ugandans, and nobody is arresting them? And they continued with this even the next day. I have raised the issue of officers covering their faces. If you are not criminals, why are you covering your faces? Why don't you want to be seen by the Ugandans? Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to request we moved away from the governments that were not democratic. Our constitution obligates the state to ensure free participation by all Ugandans. They are free to participate in politics and elect the person that they want. If that is not the way we want to go, can we scrap off these elections, Right, Honorable Speaker?
Honorable Speaker, every rightfully thinking Ugandan is asking, how did we reach here? How did we reach where we are? What has caused this, Right Honorable Speaker? Right Honorable Speaker, I remember at the beginning of this parliament, the Speaker then, late Honorable Jacob Olanya, said that one day he would organize a day. We sit here and debate how we wish this country to move. Right Honorable Speaker, maybe one day you convene, either you take us in conference hall, in the compound, we debate. Right Honorable Speaker, it's ugly. Your question was, what is happening now? Is it any better? Right Honorable, yesterday they were showing where a lady was seated in a vehicle. Somebody jumped on the vehicle on top and pointed a gun at the lady in the car. The lady was saying, shoot. People were surrounding the car. Right Honorable, who is in charge of campaigns in this country? Campaigns are not going to the church to begin praying. And campaigns, everybody will be chanting, people will be moving, people will be singing. Who is in charge of campaigns, Right Honorable Speaker?
Mitoma lost 3 young men who were even not part of the group. 2 were hawkers of GNATs. They were buried in Kabila. 1 was from Izumo. It was during campaigns, and I was there to campaign. I was almost lynched when I mentioned the name. And I remember why they almost lynched me. Because they were bitter with NRM by that time. So I'm requesting that we put a stop on this. Because we are nearing the elections. What is going to happen when everyone is campaigning and nobody is even there to stand for any? Thank you so much. We need to put a stop on this. How can you have a group that is so happy to beat people and you have this other person who is pulling them away? That tells you there could have been a problem. Right, Honorable Speaker, one time on the floor of Parliament here, I stated that we are sending these policemen and soldiers out there. We don't know what is in their heart. Because in their training, some of the things they are sent to do, they don't like. They know that it is not professional to be sent to do what they are being asked to do. And one day, like my sister stated, if one of them gets annoyed, and that is why we also need to question whether some of them are doing it because they think they should do that, or they are doing it with the intention of actually spoiling the name of the government. You never know. Minister, you need to take interest because some of them may be not happy and they think they should do something extreme in order to spoil the name of the government. So you need to look at all this if anything positive is supposed to come.
If you're a member of parliament and you are caught right in the act, they don't need to leave you to go and then come right to the speaker summoning you. No. Okay? From there and then they take you and then we start following up. Yes? No, I want you to know, please get me clearly. Because you're going to be a member of parliament, we can also be thieves, by the way.
Right, Honorable Speaker and honorable members. I appreciate the cross-partisan views of members. They actually feed into the government's desire to have a peaceful electoral process. The practical solutions we seek are fed by the processes, the roles, and the balance of rights and duties that you have talked about. So I think it's good to have this engagement, but follow up with it with a more concrete engagement between security, but also the EC, around the EC, and all the players to talk about and find solutions to these issues. Every citizen has a life that is sanctified, so I want to disagree with my colleague, Honorable Joyce. It's not just journalists, but also everyone, whether a journalist or not, should be treated fairly before the law. So I want to allay your fears. There is no bubble, but in the unlikely event that it is there, the pressure points are being pricked by this discussion, and we shall together find a solution.